Ascending the power pyramid, a leap of fate. In a world that often presents itself as a stratified pyramid of power, a woman, an iron-willed and robust persona, decides upon an uncharted voyage. She plunges into the oftentimes tumultuous waters of politics, her determination and unwavering commitment to change act as her life jacket. Born into a family of modest means, she possesses an innate, deep-seated desire to make a difference for the less privileged, echoing the memories of her own upbringing. Every step of the way, she endures opposition and disparagement, but never loses sight of her objectives. For her, the glass ceiling is just a transient barrier, ready to be shattered by relentless resolution. She moves, time and again, from legislative assistant to member of parliament, ever closer to her eventual destination. Yet, looming large is the looming, ominous cloud of gender prejudice that threatens to eclipse her mission. Then, the unthinkable happens. An unexpected twist of political fate places her in a position she was always destined for, but not one that many believed she would fulfill. She is elected to the position of Prime Minister, symbolizing not just personal victory, but a victory for every underrepresented woman in her country. The glass ceiling, once seemingly insurmountable, now lies in shards beneath her feet. While occupying the highest seat of power in her country, she navigates the stormy seas of gendered preconceptions and inherent discrimination with steadfast authority. She tackles consequential issues and realizes societal progressions, reaffirming that a woman's place can be in the highest echelons of leadership. However, in her stride to re-script women's leadership narratives, the path is anything but smooth. It is laden with personal and public scrutiny, excessive criticism, and unwarranted judgment. The same strides that would have been celebrated in a man are disparaged and disputed in her reign. Yet, she endures, fully aware of the tumultuous nature of her chosen path. Her journey, a testament to the strength and durability of women in leadership, redefines societal perspectives. She sustains her position with grace and courage, setting a benchmark for future women leaders. Her story signifies a defiance against the established norms and encourages those who dare to dream. The bullseye of gender bias, a dialogue unleashed. Amidst the daily gruel of leadership, a new term emerges as the leading lady experiences unwarranted criticism. Gender bias, a two-word accusation that gets tossed around in the arena of politics, takes the spotlight, not as an abstract concept but as a tangible protagonist that she has to grapple with day in, day out. One day, a public dialogue with blatant sexist undertones turns the nation's eye towards this subtle yet pervasive prejudice. It starts with a statement, an offhand remark thrown casually into the conversation, underestimating a woman's power and credibility solely based on her gender. The perpetrators of this message are none other than her colleagues, other politicians who are part of her usual discourse. Unprepared but not defeated, she retaliates by addressing the elephant in the room. Echoing through the halls of Parliament comes a fierce response, as she deftly juggles the dual role of a leader and a woman misjudged. She sends shockwaves across the country with an incisive commentary on the misogynistic culture in the political landscape. Unabashedly, she details her encounters with bias, elucidating the double standards she faces as she skates on thin ice. They hold her to different standards, prod at her personal life, question her decisions, all under the guise of scrutinizing her leadership. Still, she calls it out, pointing these as routine ignominies that aim at throwing her off balance. She enlightens those present on the many forms and faces of gender disparity that plague women in the professional world. Her potent words open the floodgates for nationwide debates and discussions about gender inequality. Newspapers headline her momentous speech, broadcast media dissects each phrase, each pause. Various corners of society spring into action, taking up the mantle to bring about systemic changes. In this whirlwind, she stands tall, unaltered by the torrents of praise and criticism alike. with one dialogue, she not only challenges the prevalent notions of gender in politics but fearlessly opens up a discourse on sexism, setting the stage for many similar battles at workspaces across her nation. Her story tells a tale of strength in adversity, a beacon for all those facing similar biases, an illustration that silence is not the only option. The silencing of the voice, an unexpected downfall. After a relentless battle against the odds, just when she seems to be mastering the art of leadership, an unforeseen event occurs. A fellow legislator, once an ally, now her competitor, stirs up a storm, initiating a leadership spill. Their ambitious aspirations and power-hungry tendencies consume the political arena, causing ripples of dissent and whispers of treachery. Without warning or preamble, she is caught in a typhoon of mutiny. Trust shatters, friendships wither, and alliances crumble, leading to an atmosphere of hostility and suspicion. The woman who once resonated as the voice of her people now grapples with whispers questioning her fitness to lead. The battle intensifies, and to her dismay, she loses. In a barbarous twist of fate, the once respected leader is thrown into the churning sea of political uncertainty. Her tenure as the head of state abruptly ends, handing over the political mantle to her detractors. The abrupt finale to her political journey reverberates echoing messages of the ruthless and unstoppable progression of politics. Despite the sudden end, she refuses to be the symbol of a failed leader. She steps down gracefully, with dignity, refusing to let the shocking turn of events break her spirit. She lights off the torch of power, not with a whimper but a roar, promising to remain a relentless advocate for women's rights and equality. As she walks the long corridor, past portraits of her predecessors, footsteps echoing within the precincts of power, she does not lament her downfall. Instead, she acknowledges it as an essential chapter in her compelling story. She believes in the strength of her journey, etching her name in the annals of history that transcends political borders. Her journey, marred with betrayal and thwarted ambitions, serves as a fierce precedent for future women leaders. She remolds the perception of loss, transforming it into an opportunity for reflection and growth. Her story, a resilient example of traversing the rocky terrains of politics with unyielding determination, emboldens many to conquer the political landscape. The aftermath, a phoenix rises. Following her unexpected exit from leadership, the world anticipates her next move. The battlefield of politics is silent for a while, her absence resonating as an echo of a provocative era. The passionate advocate, the resilient leader is no longer on the forefront, and this quietness becomes louder by the day. Then, just as people begin to think she's been vanquished for good, the inevitable happens. Like the indomitable phoenix, she rises from the ashes of her past, her spirit undeterred by the bitter end of her leadership tenure. Her resurfacing doesn't take the form of claiming power or fighting for the position she once held. Instead, she reinvents her power dynamics and strives for a broader, more inclusive cause. Turning the ignominy of her past into a stepping stone for the future, she shares her experience and the lessons she's learned. Every hurdle, every faux pas she's tripped upon becomes a story, an insightful lesson for future women leaders. She does not seek to sugarcoat her experience or wallow in self-pity. Instead, she articulates the story in its raw, unvarnished form, allowing the world to view her journey with all its shades. Understanding that her passion lies not just in holding a position of power but in empowering others, she drives forth initiatives to support gender diversity. Aware that her story is but one of the many untold narratives of women in leadership, she fosters a platform where women can share their journeys and enlighten the path for future leaders, thereby triggering an intense dialogue on women's leadership which permeates borders and barriers. By embracing her journey, from an unassuming girl from a modest background to a woman who led a country, she illustrates that even the harshest of downfalls can transform into springboards for societal change. Her trajectory portrays a remarkable blend of resilience with ceaseless endurance and redefines the notion of leadership. It becomes the stuff of legend, inspiring not only women in politics but any individual navigating their destiny in the face of unforeseen twists and turns, valuable lessons etched on every twist of her journey. The legacy of leadership, a ripple effect in motion. Far from the glare of the public spotlight, she plunges into profound reflection. Never resting on her laurels, she persistently trudges ahead, creating her own roadmap and remaining resolute in her mission. Parlaying her experiences in leadership, she commits herself to transform adversities into fuel for inspiring and empowering change. She doesn't just stop at her narrative, she goes beyond, seeking out similar tales of resilience and valor, of women leaders around the world who defied the odds. Compiling the experiences of such women leaders, she assembles a robust array of narratives, each one inspiring, instigating, and insightful in its unique way. And then, she does something extraordinary. She not just shares these stories, but transforms them into potent lessons for the future leaders. Outlining the trials, tribulations, triumphs, and terrors that women leaders often endure, she sets out a clear, no-holds-barred guide aimed at offering invaluable insights and practical advice to women aspiring to lead, igniting a revolution in the making. In her quest, she throws light upon the striking universal commonalities of women's leadership experiences across cultures and continents. She uncovers how they, too, confronted similar issues, sexism, bias, and double standards, in their leadership journey, providing a more comprehensive understanding of sexism in global politics and its implications. But her representation of women's leadership isn't solely based on the challenges and obstacles. She showcases the myriad achievements, depicting how these women took reins of leadership in their hands and guided their nations toward growth with a feminine touch, redefining the conventional, gendered notions of success and leadership. Her insights foster a profound dialogue on gender equality and women's leadership, triggering conversations, debates, and discussions throughout society, evoking an amplified call for urgent reforms. Her compilation of varied experiences, coupled with her candid depiction of reality, intends not to dampen spirits but to prepare and equip future leaders. Her work becomes a beacon of empowerment, a testament to the power of resilience, a guide for navigating the turbulences, all under one roof. Thus, she cements her legacy not just as a leader but as a mentor, an advocate, and a catalyst of change. Her journey and endeavors inspire many more women to leave their indelible imprint in the sphere of leadership, proving that every setback endured can be the stepping stone for a revolutionary movement of change.